Have you ever paused to think about why seniors stop visiting people as often as they used to, especially after turning 70? Maybe you've noticed it in your own life. Those spontaneous drop-ins to see friends, the bustling gatherings you once loved, or the regular rounds to keep in touch have quietly faded, replaced by a preference for quieter moments at home. If this feels familiar, let me reassure you. It's not only okay, but it's a natural part of embracing the freedom that comes with this stage of life. I've spent decades working with seniors across the United States and Canada, and I've seen how these shifts reflect a deeper, more intentional way of living, one that prioritizes peace, joy, and meaningful connections over social obligations. In this video, we'll explore 6 heartfelt reasons why you might be visiting less often, from protecting your energy to find comfort in your own space, and why that's a beautiful choice to make. These insights will help you understand the changes in your social life, showing you that it's not about withdrawing, but about living more fully on your terms. You have every right to choose what truly brings you happiness, because at this age, you've earned the freedom to shape your days in a way that feels right for you. I've watched so many people over 70 step away from the pressure to always show up, realizing that their time is too precious to spend on anything less than what lights up their heart. It's not about closing doors, it's about opening ones that lead to genuine contentment. Whether that's a cozy morning with your favorite book or a meaningful chat with a dear friend who truly gets you. This freedom lets you honor your needs, your energy, and your joy, setting the stage for a life that feels rich and fulfilling in the ways that matter most to you. As you embrace this freedom to live life on your terms, you might find yourself wondering why seniors stop visiting people so often. And I'm here to tell you that this shift is completely natural. It's not about pulling away, but about stepping into a new way of being that honors your needs. When you were younger, social visits might have been a big part of your routine, a way to stay connected and feel involved, then whether it was dropping by a neighbor's house for coffee or joining every community gathering. But as you move past 70, something inside you changes, and those outings start to feel less necessary, maybe even a little draining. This isn't a sign of withdrawal or loneliness, it's a reflection of how your priorities evolve with age, focusing more on what truly brings you peace and fulfillment. You begin to realize that your energy isn't as boundless as it once was, and you'd rather save it for moments that fill your heart, rather than stretch yourself thin just to keep up appearances. It's like tending a garden. You learn to nurture the flowers that bloom brightest rather than watering every plant in sight. For some, this might mean savoring a slow morning at home instead of rushing out to a social event, or picking up the phone to share a heartfelt chat rather than making a long drive to visit. This change doesn't mean you care any less about your loved ones. It simply means you're listening to your own rhythm, giving yourself permission to slow down and live in a way that feels right for you now. You might find comfort in knowing that this shift is a common part of aging, a sign that you're growing wiser about what truly matters in your life, and you're not alone in choosing a path that feels more aligned with your current season of life. Now that you're listening to your own rhythm and realizing how natural it is to step back from frequent visits, you might start to notice something else, the way your relationships shift as you age. And that's a beautiful part of this journey too. Social changes for seniors over 70 often mean your connections evolve, sometimes in ways you didn't expect. But accepting these shifts can bring a deep sense of peace. When you were younger, your social life might have been a whirlwind of constant visits, phone calls, and gatherings, where being present felt like the only way to show you cared. But as time passes, you begin to see that not every friendship needs the same level of attention it once did. And that's okay. it doesn't mean those bonds are any less meaningful. You might find that some relationships naturally drift, not out of conflict, but because life moves in different directions with new families, goals, and routines pulling people apart. Others, though, grow even stronger, rooted in a quiet understanding that doesn't demand regular meetups to stay alive. Embracing this change allows you to let go of guilt, understanding that you don't have to hold on to every connection with the same intensity. It's like watching the seasons change. You don't mourn every leaf that falls. You appreciate the beauty of what remains. Maybe you've noticed that a friend you haven't seen in months still feels as close as ever when you finally talk, while another you used to visit often now feels more distant, even if you're in touch. This shift isn't a loss. It's a sign you're growing into a new way of relating, one that values depth over frequency. And that's a powerful realization as you move through this stage of life. You're learning to let go of the pressure to be everywhere, focusing instead on the relationships that truly resonate with who you are now, and finding a new kind of closeness that doesn't rely on constant presence, but on the strength of the bond you've built over the years. As you grow more comfortable accepting the natural shifts in your relationships, you might start to notice another reason why visiting less often feels right. It's about protecting your energy for the connections that truly matter. In your younger years, you likely had the stamina to be everywhere, attending every gathering, dropping by to see friends, or keeping up with a wide circle of acquaintances, often out of habit or a sense of duty. But as you move past 70, your energy becomes a precious resource, not as endless as it once seemed. And you start to realize that not every visit is worth the toll it takes. It's not that you've lost interest in others, but rather that you're becoming more intentional about where you invest your time, choosing to pour your heart into relationships that bring warmth, peace, and genuine joy. Think about those times you've pushed yourself to show up somewhere, maybe out of guilt or obligation, only to return home feeling drained, having spent hours in surface-level conversations that left you empty. Perhaps you've sat through a lunch where the chatter was all about things that didn't matter to you, or driven across town for a quick visit that left you more tired than fulfilled. Now, you're learning to ask yourself a simple question: who truly matters to me? This shift transforms the way you approach your days, where the focus moves from being everywhere to being fully present with those who light up your life. Instead of spreading yourself thin, you might choose to spend a quiet afternoon with a dear friend who understands you deeply, or share a meaningful phone call with a family member who makes you feel seen. This isn't about closing yourself off. It's about opening up to what truly fills your heart, ensuring your energy goes to the people and moments that leave you feeling uplifted, not depleted. You're learning to value your time in a way that aligns with the person you've become, cherishing the relationships that matter most while gently stepping back from those that don't nourish your spirit. And that's a wise and empowering choice to make as you age. With your energy now focused on the relationships that matter most, you might also find yourself stepping back from visits for another heartfelt reason, to avoid the stress and drama that can come with certain social interactions. When you were younger, you might have tolerated gatherings filled with gossip, petty disagreements, or negativity, perhaps brushing off the tension to keep the peace or maintain connections. But as you age, you begin to see that protecting your emotional well-being is far more important than keeping every relationship alive, especially when it comes at the cost of your happiness. You've earned the right to say no to situations that leave you feeling drained, whether it's a family event where old conflicts bubble up, a friend's constant complaints that weigh you down, or a visit that ends in subtle criticism instead of connection. It's like clearing out clutter from your home. You let go of what doesn't serve you to make space for what does. Maybe you've left a get-together feeling worn out, carrying the weight of someone's negativity, like a family dinner where the conversation turned to endless complaints, or a visit to a relative who always seemed to find fault, leaving you questioning why you went in the first place. Now you're asking yourself a powerful question. Why am I putting myself through this? By stepping away from toxic interactions, you're not being unkind. You're being wise, prioritizing your peace over the expectations of others. This shift allows you to nurture a social life that feels uplifting, filled with conversations that leave you smiling and connections that make you feel truly valued, rather than drained by unnecessary stress. You're choosing to surround yourself with people who bring positivity, creating a circle that supports your well-being and aligns with the calm you seek in this stage of life. And that choice can make all the difference in how you experience your days. As you begin to steer clear of stress and focus on what uplifts you, another reason for visiting less often might resonate deeply. The comfort of your own familiar space starts to feel more inviting than ever. There's something so special about the home you've created over the years, a place where every corner reflects who you are, from your favorite armchair to the mug you reach for each morning. After 70, that sense of comfort becomes a treasure, often outweighing the appeal of getting dressed up, driving across town, and spending time in someone else's space. It's not that you don't enjoy seeing others, but rather that you've come to value the peace your own environment brings, a peace that's harder to find in unfamiliar settings. When you were younger, the excitement of being out and about might have driven you to social events. But now, the joy of waking up in your own bed, sipping coffee in silence, or moving through your day without pressure feels far more fulfilling. Other people's homes can sometimes feel less comfortable. Maybe the noise is too much, the chairs aren't quite right, or the vibe just doesn't match the calm you've cultivated at home. By choosing to stay in more often, you're not shutting out the world, you're honoring the sanctuary you've built, a place where you can truly be yourself. This shift is about recognizing that your physical and emotional comfort matters more than meeting social expectations, allowing you to create a social life that feels as cozy and nurturing as your own space. You're learning to appreciate the simple beauty of a day spent in your own surroundings, where you can unwind, reflect, and recharge on your terms, savoring the quiet moments that bring you a sense of grounding and peace. Now that you're cherishing the comfort of your own space, you might also notice a shift in how you view your social circle, leaning toward quality over quantity in a way that feels deeply liberating. In your younger years, a full calendar and a wide network of friends might have been a badge of honor, a sign of being connected and engaged, with frequent visits to keep everyone in your life close. But as you move past 70, you start to see that true happiness doesn't come from the number of people around you. It comes from the depth of the relationships you nurture. You're no longer chasing superficial friendships or trying to impress others with constant presence, because those connections often leave you feeling unfulfilled, like you've spent your time on something that doesn't truly matter. Instead, you're drawn to the people who bring real joy, the ones who make you feel understood without needing to see you every week. It's like pruning a tree. You trim away the branches that don't bear fruit to let the strongest ones thrive. Maybe you've realized that a quiet dinner with a lifelong friend means more than a crowded gathering, or that a heartfelt letter to someone far away carries more weight than a quick visit out of habit. By focusing on quality, you're not isolating yourself. You're building a social life that's rich with meaning, where every connection you keep is one that truly lights up your heart. You're letting go of the need to be everywhere, choosing instead to be fully present in the moments that matter, creating a circle of loved ones who truly resonate with the person you are now, and finding joy in the depth of those bonds that have stood the test of time. With a newfound focus on quality connections, you might also find your priorities shifting in a way that leads to deeper self-reflection. Another reason why visiting less often feels so right. As you age, life takes on a new perspective. What once felt urgent, like staying socially active or being at every event, starts to fade, replaced by a longing for what truly brings fulfillment. You begin to see your time as a precious gift, and you want to spend it on things that give you peace, purpose, and a sense of joy, rather than just filling your days with visits out of habit. This shift often comes with a growing appreciation for quiet moments, where you can reflect on your journey, rediscover hobbies you've set aside, or simply sit with your thoughts in the stillness of your home. You might find peace in reading a book you've always meant to pick up, taking slow walks to enjoy nature, or writing down memories that matter. Perhaps the stories of your childhood, the adventures you shared with loved ones, or the lessons you've learned along the way. It's like rediscovering an old friend, yourself, and realizing how much joy these simple things bring. You might ask yourself, why did I ever feel obligated to visit just for the sake of it, when I could have been nurturing my own spirit instead? This change isn't about turning away from others. It's about turning toward what makes you feel most alive, whether that's a solitary afternoon of reflection or a meaningful conversation with someone who truly matters. By prioritizing what fills your heart, you're crafting a life that feels more authentic and rewarding at this stage, one where every moment is spent on what brings you genuine contentment, and where you're free to explore the inner peace that comes with knowing yourself more deeply. As you reflect on what truly brings you joy, you might also discover a new way to connect with others that feels more comfortable. Creating a social space that suits your needs, rather than always going out to visit. Instead of feeling pressured to travel across town or adjust to someone else's environment, you can invite friends and loved ones into your own home where everything is just the way you like it. From the cozy lighting to the chair that supports you perfectly. This approach lets you stay connected while honoring your need for comfort, turning social moments into something you genuinely look forward to. Hosting on your own terms makes a world of difference, allowing you to control the vibe, the timing, and the energy you expend. Maybe you've noticed that visiting others can feel taxing. The unfamiliar setting, the noise, or the effort of getting ready. But when you welcome someone into your space, you're in your element, free to relax and enjoy the moment. It could be as simple as inviting a close friend for tea on your porch, or gathering a small group for a quiet dinner where you set the pace, perhaps with your favorite music playing softly in the background and a meal that warms both the stomach and the heart. How seniors manage social life at this stage often means redefining what connection looks like, focusing on quality interactions that don't drain you. By creating a space that feels right for you, you're not just socializing, you're building memories that fit your life now in a way that feels effortless and true to who you are. You're finding a balance that lets you nurture your relationships while staying true to the comfort and peace you've come to value so deeply, creating a social life that feels as warm and inviting as your own home. By crafting social moments that suit your comfort, you might also come to a comforting realization that shapes how you connect. Genuine friendships don't need constant visits to stay strong, and that's a beautiful truth to embrace. When you were younger, you might have felt that relationships required regular meetups to keep them alive, weekly coffee dates, frequent check-ins, or showing up just to prove you cared. But as you age, you start to see that the deepest bonds are rooted in something far more enduring than physical presence. They're built on trust, respect, and a shared understanding that holds steady even across distance. You can go months without seeing a friend, yet feel instantly close the moment you reconnect. It's like picking up a favorite book after years. The story is still there, waiting for you. You might find that a heartfelt phone call or a thoughtful letter carries more meaning than a rushed visit ever could, showing you that true friendship isn't about how often you meet, but how deeply you connect when you do. I've seen how senior social engagement after 70 often shifts toward these lasting connections, where the people who truly value you don't need constant proof of your loyalty. They understand that life evolves, and they'll be there when it matters most. As we bring this journey to a close, let's reflect on the 6 reasons we've explored: living on your terms, accepting natural changes, saving energy for what matters, avoiding stress, cherishing your space, and valuing quality over quantity, all while creating social moments that suit you and honoring friendships that endure. These truths remind you that your worth isn't tied to how often you visit others. It's in the love and meaning you cultivate in your own way. You've earned the right to let go of guilt, to prioritize your peace, and to focus on the relationships that truly uplift you, knowing that the strongest bonds will stand the test of time. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one change you'll embrace in your social life? Perhaps choosing a quieter moment with a loved one, or setting boundaries that protect your energy. Maybe you'll decide to host a small gathering at home, or reach out to an old friend with a letter that shares how much they mean to you. Drop a comment below. I read every one and cherish your insights because your story matters. If this video resonated, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Wise Wellness Path for more wisdom to enrich your golden years. Here's to a life filled with peace, joy, and connections that truly matter, where every day is a chance to live authentically, surrounded by the love and comfort you deserve, and where you can savor the beauty of aging on your own terms.